and welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to do a board game haul, but this is going to be a pretty big board game haul. Typically I'd like to do these board game hauls, 4 board games per video. However, I seem to have accumulated a lot of board games and it would take me quite a while to go through them. So in this one I'm going to do 8 board games in this one video, and then next month I still have 4 more to haul that I'll do in a set of 4, and I'll do that from then on. But yes, this is going to be a long video, so if you enjoy board games and hearing about board games, then this is going to be great for you, and maybe you want to get a drink or a snack because it might be a little bit of a long video. So let's just start off. So first of all, I picked up Ticket to Ride. I actually picked this up, it feels like ages ago now, because I haven't done one of these since a couple of months. So I picked this up a couple of months ago, and when I started to get into board games and kind of more modern board games, this one is the one that's like a gateway game. It's a classic board game and it is just fantastic. I absolutely love it. Basically what you do in this game, if you don't know, is, and this is the USA edition, which is just brilliant. I definitely will get Ticket to Ride Europe and hopefully the UK map as well. It's a great game. So what you do is basically you start out with 3 or 2 destination cards. So there's a map, which is what the board is, and there's all different train stations. So mine might say New York to LA, and that's going to be a pretty big trip, so you'll get a lot of points for completing that route. And in order to complete the route, you have to collect kind of like matching coloured train cards, and say on the board there's 3 yellows, you need 3 yellow cards to put 3 trains down, and that's kind of how it works. And because you've got multiple routes to do at one time, it's lots of fun because you're always trying to think, right, which is the best way to do this, how can I kind of combine these routes. Later on in the game you can pick extra routes up to get more points, and if you can go through them and pick, you can pick up 3, and you can keep hold of 1. And I always try and get one that's like that I've already half completed, and it's brilliant. It kind of becomes a bit more strategic when you start doing things like that. And obviously, the more players you play with, people might be getting on your path. You might have been like heading one way, and somebody else put their trains in the way, and it's just a fantastic game. I feel like it's one that I will never get bored of. It's very fun and different each time, and I just love it. I do feel like though it's one that I'm always in my own little world doing. I'm like, right, okay, I'm trying to figure it out. It's not one that you talk with the other people. You don't kind of have a chat while you're playing. It's just I'm concentrating, I'm trying to figure everything out. But yeah, Ticket to Ride is fantastic. If you haven't picked this one up and you are into board games, I definitely recommend it. Obviously, as you can see, it's a pretty big, heavy box, but I love it, and I definitely will be getting the other Ticket to Rides. So that's a great one. Okay, the next one here is each month, at the end of the month, me and Josh have both been doing a board game pickup. So I will pick one and he will pick one, and then we will order them both together, and those will be our 2 board games for the end of the month. So in, what month was this be? April, I think. In April, I picked Flashpoint Fire Rescue. Now, the reason I picked this one is because it just seemed very interesting, and it was a cooperative game. And if you watched my last haul, I picked up Forbidden Island, and at this point, having picked up this, Forbidden Island was my favourite game. I love Forbidden Island, I still do. It's fantastic. So this one seemed interesting because basically you're a firefighter, the board is a house, and you're trying to save people from the fire, which is spreading and causing all kind of chaos. And again, you're working with the other people in the game to try and get people out, try and put the fires out, and you need to get 7 people out of the house to win the game. If 4 people die in the fire, then the game is over. It's a fantastic game, and there's different ways to play this. We started out playing the family beginner version, and we probably played that for about a month and a half, which you'll probably see some pictures of. And we played it and we played it and we played it, and it actually took us quite a while to beat the game. And once we did, it was just fantastic because it took quite a bit of time. We were so glad when we beat it. And that was only on the beginner one. I don't know what we were doing, but we came up with a better tactic and managed to beat it a couple of times, and then we moved on to the advanced game. And the advanced game is so much fun. and we've been having an absolute blast with that. I feel like this game is slowly growing to become my favourite game. I definitely recommend it. I feel like it's quite underrated as well. And not only that, so we played, for a month and a half on beginner mode. Then we moved on to advanced, and we're having an absolute blast with it. But the board is dual-sided, and one side of the board is easier than the other. Now, we've only played on the easiest side of the board at the moment. So eventually, once we've played advanced quite a bit of time, we can flip the board over and we've got a whole new board and map to discover. So this is just fantastic. I feel like it's such good value for money, this game. I definitely would recommend it. If you're looking for a cooperative game, this one I completely recommend 100%. So yeah, Flashpoint. There are expansions as well, which you get another double-sided map. So once we completely exhaust this, I'm sure we'll pick up an expansion because it's just so fantastic. So that's Flashpoint. And the game that Josh picked for his end of the month board game in April was Drakon. And obviously this one's got a big dragon on the front, and this is a tile laying game. And it's kind of like a dungeon crawl tile laying game. You basically lay the tiles down and you move throughout the dungeon, and different abilities trigger when you walk into certain rooms. But ultimately you're trying to collect 10 coins. And the dragon's sitting on the coins, and you're trying to get 10 points with these coins. So the first person to get 10 coins or points wins. Now the first time we played this, we played twice in one night the first time, and it was kind of over very quickly, and I kind of felt like it was a bit anticlimactic, and I was a little bit disappointed in it. However, when we played it again, I think we only played it 3 or 4 times actually, but anyway, when we played it, at a different time, I really got into it, and I feel like it was all in the tile laying. Like, it wasn't as fun to just be like, okay, I want a coin, I'm going to take your coin. That kind of way of playing, a bit of more take that, wasn't as fun. So I feel like it's how you decide to play the game. You can make it as fun as you would like in terms of how you create your dungeon. I don't know if that makes sense, but this is it's a pretty quick game. I mean, what's the time it says on here? It says 20 to 60 minutes, but yeah, I'd say 20 minutes. It's never really going to take 60 unless you're really trying to avoid winning, I feel. But yeah, this is a good game. It's definitely went up in my estimation after playing it a couple of times, but it's not one we go to too much. But that's Drakon. Okay, and the next game is one that my mum got me for my birthday, and this is kind of why there are so many board games. Like I say, I accumulated a lot in a short space of time, so I got quite a lot for my birthday. But my mum got me Forbidden Desert. Now, as you guys know, you heard me talking about Forbidden Island earlier. I absolutely love Forbidden Island. And so I was so excited to play Forbidden Desert, and I feel like I actually enjoy Forbidden Desert even more because it just adds a bit more challenge, and there's quite a few more things you can do in this game. So basically you have these tiles on the board, and they are the desert, and in the middle there will always be like a gap where there isn't a tile, and that is kind of the sandstorm, and that will continue to move and blow sand around, and you'll have these little sand pieces that get on the tiles that you have to get off, and then you have to flip the tiles over, and then you have to find out where the treasure will be. It's not just on a tile anymore, and it's great fun. But I haven't beaten Forbidden Desert yet, but it did take me quite a while to beat Forbidden Island, so that's probably why. It probably took me a bit of time to beat this, which is good because I like going back and be like, right, are we going to get off the desert, are we going to do all this? And it's just so much fun collecting the pieces, and basically you're collecting pieces to build an airship on this one, and it's just great. But if you've played Forbidden Island, I feel like you'll easily be able to pick this up because it is similar concepts, but it's just adds a few more rules and a few more things you can do. I also really like the abilities in this one. They're really, really great. And the water element is the hardest. That's always how we lose the game, is you need to find water in this game to survive, because obviously you're in a desert. And I always run out of water, and if even one teammate runs out of water, the game is over. So it's pretty tough. I do find it is the water thing though that causes us to lose, but it's still just really, really fun every time we play. Even though we aren't winning the game, I still have a great fun time. So yeah, Forbidden Desert, definitely recommend this one. But if you haven't played either, I'd say pick up Forbidden Island first, because it is more of the easier one to pick up, and then you can pick up Forbidden Desert, because they're different enough to own two and be happy playing both. So yeah, Forbidden Desert. Okay, the next 3 are ones that I also got for my birthday, and the first one being Kariba. Now I've done a whole video review on this one, which this was my board game of the month for May, so I'm going to link that about, so I'm not really going to go into this one too much, but it is such a fun game and it feels very, it's a great exploration game, and it really does feel like you're exploring, and basically each person has their own little board and you're trying to use the little tiles, which are like a little map, to get to the temples, to get points, and it's just so much fun, and every person has to put down the same pieces, but you can put it down anywhere on your board, so each person will have a different map at the end of the game, and I think that's what really adds to this game. It's so much fun that every person has the same amount of chance of winning, it just depends on where they put their pieces. So if you lose the game, you feel like, yeah, you lost. There was no kind of like, oh, that wasn't fair, it was just all on you, which I quite enjoy and I really like. But obviously, like I say, I love this. I did a board game of the month for May, so I will check that. I'll link that, so you can check it out if you are more interested in this one. Okay, the next one I have here is a very popular one, and it is Pandemic. Again, this is a cooperative game. I feel like most people will know about this one, but basically you have a map of the world and there are 4 diseases that have been kind of spreading around, and basically as the game goes on, you know, you pick up cards and more diseases appear. Sometimes outbreaks happen and all sorts of stuff, and you're trying to eradicate the diseases or cure them to win the game. And I have won this, I think, twice, but we've only played it on with, I think there's 4, what are they called now, 4 epidemic cards. You can like add more to make the game harder, so we've kind of been playing it on an easier level, so I'll obviously add more as we go on. I do really enjoy this game, but I feel like Flashpoint, which is another cooperative game and not as popular, adds a lot more replayability. I could play this a bunch, I could play it a few times in a row. I really enjoy playing it, but I feel like once you've kind of, I don't know, there could be a certain point where I'm like, okay, I've kind of done everything I can do in this game. I feel like, you know, the game is what it is, and that's kind of that. But saying that, there are a lot of expansions for Pandemic, and the one that I really want to get is State of Emergency, so I will probably pick that up at some point. But it's still a really great game to play, and if you've played any other cooperative games like Forbidden Island or Forbidden Desert, I feel like this will kind of make sense, because you're picking, like in Forbidden Island, you're picking up flood cards, and in this you're picking up you know, cards that might have an epidemic in, and you add in diseases, and it's kind of a similar gameplay style, which I really liked, because I was worried that I wasn't going to find this one as easy to play, but because I played some other games similar, I kind of was able to pick this one up pretty easily. But yeah, I really love it. It's a great game, like I say, but it is very popular, and a lot of people do love it, which is a good thing. But I just find it interesting with other games, like I say, like Flashpoint, which I feel give you a little bit more than this one does, but I still think it's a fantastic game, of course. So that's Pandemic. The next one I have here is Imhotep, and this one I haven't played too much. We probably played it maybe 4 or 5 times, and I really do enjoy it. Basically, you're building in ancient Egypt, and I just love the theme. I feel like it's the theme that drew me into this one. It's the theme that keeps me hooked. But I will say, I don't feel like I've played it enough to have picked up a particular strategy. I feel there's different ways you could play this game, and I feel like I haven't mastered it yet. It's not too hard of a game, but there's quite a few choices you can make. Basically, I think there's 4, or is it 5? 5 kind of boards which you can kind of take your boats with your little blocks and head to. So you have to make quite a few choices, and I don't think I've mastered which are the best choices yet. But not only that, each of the 5 boards have a side A and a side B, and I've only played with side A so far, so again, this one has quite a lot of replayability because it's got different options of how you could play. I suppose you could put 3 boards at side A and 2 at side B. You can mix this, match this up, and play it quite a few different ways. So I love it when games do that and just kind of give that more replayability, and I like to play one certain way quite a lot of times and then move on to the other way. So yeah, Imhotep is a great thematic game. I think that's what really draws me to this one. I mean, just look at that box as well. So yes, really enjoyed that one, but I do need to play it a bit more. And finally, we have a game that's pretty popular that I didn't really enjoy, and I actually bought this one with some birthday money. So that's a little bit disappointing, and it's Seven Wonders Duel, which is the 2-player version of Seven Wonders. Now, I haven't played Seven Wonders, and I suppose I haven't really played this kind of card drafting game style before, but I just really liked the idea of this theme. I've only played the game once, and I didn't enjoy it at all, but I will give it another chance. Probably give it a couple of chances, but it's just one that I keep being like, I'll give that a chance at some point. I can't really explain why I don't enjoy it, but maybe I just didn't understand it fully. But then I also watched a gameplay video through. I thought maybe I was playing it wrong, basically, and I watched a gameplay of this, so people play the full game, and we didn't do anything wrong. We were playing it how it was supposed to be played. So I don't know, maybe it'll grow on me. I remember the first time I played Drakon, I was a little bit let down, and again, as we play it more, it's grown on me now that I found a different tactic of how to play and found a funner way to play. But this one, I don't know. I will have to play it again to fully decide, but I don't think it's ever going to be up there. It is at the moment my least favourite board game that I own, and it's one that I played and instantly didn't want to play a second time straight after. Pretty much usually play a game once, play it second time straight after. That's just how we play when we first get one. This one, that is not what happened. But if you have played this, I'd love to know your thoughts on it, because everybody seems to love it, so maybe I'm just missing something. But yes, that was my board game haul, which was pretty big. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoy board games or these type of games. I'd love to know your thoughts. Thumbs up if you enjoy these board game hauls. I will do another one next month, so you can keep your eyes out for that. And I always do a board game of the month pick. So my June one will be coming up in about a week or so. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, or if you are a newbie. I'll see you then. Goodbye!